One of my most favorite desserts that pleases and feeds a crowd is the classic Texas sheet cake. If you've never had it, you've got to make it. It's an easy, no fuss, no fail recipe. This yummy chocolate dessert is featured today on Cooking Made Easy with June, brought to you by Macy's, the happy shopping store in Spanish Fork. Hi, welcome to Cooking Made Easy with June. Today we are going to make the classic chocolate Texas cheesecake. Well, it's just Texas sheet cake. The first time I had it was like back in 1981. And I was just thinking, I asked one of our cameramen, he was like, he's never had it. And I'm thinking he's young because honestly, it's probably been around for over 100 years. I don't know. But back in 1980 when I first had it, I thought, oh my gosh, this is so good. It's like a really thin cake and it's got a great fudgy frosting. Anyway, so I'm gonna make it and he's gonna try it. Anyway, so it's really simple. There's lots of versions of it, but this one I got it from my dear friend, she's almost like my little niece, it's Kiana, and she had a little cookbook in one of her church groups, and one of her aunts makes it, and it's really good. And this version has some sour cream in it, so we're gonna do that. So first, we're going to melt in a small saucepan 2 cubes of butter. I'm gonna use the small one. I'll save that big one for the frosting. So we have this small 2 cubes of butter, which is a cube of butter is a half a cup. So actually it's a cup of butter. And when I melt the butter, I'm gonna turn it on to medium. Okay, low. Okay, there it is. I'm going to get a knife. Ooh, hold a second. I like to, because butter, if you don't watch it, it's going to melt. So when you're melting a butter, especially a cube, anything bigger than that, I like to cut it into chunks. So like a tablespoon of each, something like that, just so it doesn't all like burn the ones that melt faster. So I do that. And another option, of course, is if you'd like to stick in the microwave, you could do that also, but then you have to dirty another dish because you can't stick the pan in the microwave. So I'm just going to put 2 cubes, which is a cup of butter, into the pan. So that's that. All right. And then we're going to add 4, even though it's not completely melted, I'm going to go ahead and add 4 tablespoons of cocoa. And when it comes to chocolate cocoa, I don't really make a big deal about making it level. It's good, even if it heaps over. That's 2, 3, and that's 4. And then we have a cup of water. And then that's it for the stove. We just melt that together. And I'm gonna turn up the heat a tiny bit to medium high. When it starts to melt more, I'm going to go ahead and stir. So it's on medium. And while it's getting warmed, we're going to add our dry ingredients into a bowl. So the ingredients include 2 cups of flour and 2 cups of sugar. Every time I use these, I'm like, oh, I love this thing. So again, for the flour, I do level it a little bit because it does make a difference. That's 1. So sometimes, you know how, especially in the show, when you're talking and you're measuring, I always make it one rule. I always say, or when you're cooking with family, I don't count the cup till I dump it. So that's 1, that's 2, you know what I mean? Because sometimes I get spacey and I'm like, oh my gosh, okay. Anyway, so that's my tip. I don't know if that helps anyone. So that's 2 cups of flour, and then we have 2 cups of sugar. So the same thing, shake it to about level, that's 1, and that's 2. So if you see me, if I'm cooking by myself, you'll hear me talking out loud. So I'm like, that's 1, that's 2, and I just talk out loud. All right, and then we have a teaspoon of baking soda. So I have my baking soda in here because I have a bulk one that I needed to use. So when it comes to baking soda and baking powder, I do like to be pretty close. So that's 1 teaspoon of baking soda and a half teaspoon of salt. This is my salt. Ah. And when I'm baking, I like to measure. But if I'm doing a stir fry, about a little spoon of this is about a half teaspoon. So when I find that when I bake, I can't like be too liberal, unless it's toppings or something. And that's that I like to take my whisk, because I have that baking soda in there and would like to whisk up this dry ingredients together. And I learned this from, I can't remember which episode it was. She was making a cinnamon cake. And I said, oh, that's a good idea. So now I always try to whisk up my dry ingredients together. Okay, so it looks like our chocolate is melting right there. So I'm just going to move it around a little bit and stir it till it melts all the way. I'm going to turn it up a little bit now that I'm monitoring it. So Texas cheesecake, you know what, I didn't have a time. I wanted to look up the background and the history of it. But like I said, the first time I had it was back in 1981 in Utah when I came to BYU. That really ages me. Yes, okay, I'm going to say it out loud. I'm 59, I'm going to be 60. I already warned my family, no parties. I do not want a 60th birthday party. But you know what? Age is just a number. So I'm going to say, I'm not really 59. I'm 37 eternally. How's that? So I have my, this is almost done here. So I was just thinking too, when you think about, like, for example, oh my gosh, I forgot his name, our cameraman, Shad. So he's young, and he's never had this, so this has been around a long time. And I also teach junior high school. And just today in my math class, a young girl was reading a book, and I said, oh, gosh, what are you reading? And I've never heard of it. And she goes, and I said, have you ever heard of Shannon Hill's Brayburn series, the Goose Girl series? And she goes, no. And I said, oh my gosh, that really ages me, because that's an older, but it's amazing. So if you guys want to start reading, if you have time to read, start with The Goose Girl by Shannon Hill. It's awesome. So that, every year, I feel a generation gap with my students. Okay, so this is melted. All you have to do is melt it. There's a little bit there. Okay, so there's water, butter, and then what we're going to do is just pour it into our dry ingredients. So it's really hot. Okay, I'm turn off the stove, and I'm going to stir it. So make sure that you incorporate this really, really well. I don't know if you guys can hear that little sound of stirring. So watch out for the sounds of stirring. Watch out for these little clumps, I mean. If you notice, make sure you use a spatula, get all the flour from the bottom and stir. All right, at this point, I'm going to go ahead and take a quick little break. When we get back, we'll pour this into the pan, I'll stick it in the oven, and make the frosting. But right before we go, I'm going to add 2 eggs. Oops, don't get that. Normally you should put another bowl so you don't get your shells in there. But I'm gonna be careful. And if I drop it in there, you just take it out. So 2 eggs and vanilla, and then buttermilk or sour cream. Oops, vanilla about a half. No, I don't measure vanilla. That's about a teaspoon. Tablespoon. Measure your vanilla. Okay, and then here's my sour cream. Let's see how much sour cream. A half cup of sour cream. So this is a 4th cup, so this is easier to scoop in here. I'm just gonna go. And then that's about a half. Okay. And then make sure that you get your eggs all mixed together like that. Ooh, I can smell the vanilla. Love it, love it. I love doing this part. Every time I stir chocolate like this, reminds me of a movie called Chocolat. Has Johnny Depp in it. You guys should go watch it. It's a cute romantic movie. Chocolat. Okay, All right, now I'm gonna pour it into the pan and put it in the oven. So that's all we're gonna do real quick. All right, so let's go ahead and take a break while I pour this in there. I'm just gonna, oh my goodness. Here, I'm gonna stir a little bit more because I saw a little clump of egg in there. I keep saying, I'm gonna take a break, I'm gonna take a break. Okay, here we go. All right, so you just, either, if you don't have parchment paper, oil your pan. Oh, look at that. This is gonna be so good. Just shake it, whoops. Oh, darn it. I'm just gonna use my spatula. So when you spread it, you start from here and you go out like this, so it'll be like a big Z, and then you go like this, and then you do this. Okay, take a break. See you soon. I'm gonna make the frosting. All right, welcome back. So the cake is in the oven for about 15 to 20 minutes, so depending on your oven, please start with 15 and then check on it. And then we're going to do the frosting. This is so easy. I don't even need one of those mixing things for the cake or for the frosting, so it's awesome, but I do have a whisk. There's my knife. Okay, so I'm just going to, again, melt the butter, turn on the stove to about medium. So it's a half cup of butter, lots of butter, but hey, that's what makes all the desserts taste good, and I use real butter. Cannot compromise on the butter. All right, so we have a cube of butter, 2 tablespoons of cocoa. I keep looking for the cocoa. You know, it's funny, like even the cocoa smells so good. The thing about my smell, I would be so sad if I lost my 10 sense of smell, because I smell it, I taste it, it's all so good together. Okay, so we have the cocoa, 6 tablespoons of sour cream, and then 3 cups of powdered sugar. So I'm going to melt, I'm going to add the sour cream last. So we do the butter and the cocoa, then we add the sour cream, and then we just whisk in the, it already looks good, in the powdered sugar, and vanilla last. So look at that, even just that looks amazing. I don't know how some people does not like chocolate. I love chocolate, although I do love the dark. I love the 70% cocoa, and I love all the specialty chocolate bars that are really dark, and yet they have cinnamon or cayenne, stuff like that. I love it. Now, when it comes to other brands, I have to have, if I'm going to eat it, it's got to be gourmet, I guess, to me. I don't love just the candy bar, the regular candy bars. On occasion, I'll eat an Almond Joy or maybe a peanut butter cup. But anyway, so this is almost done. Can you see that? It's beautiful. Glossy, buttery, chocolatey. Okay, so that's that. And then now I'm going to add my sour cream, 6 tablespoons, which is a quarter cup is 4. And so actually I'm going to get this spatula. Here it is. And that's about a quarter cup. So 4 tablespoons, and then I'm going to add 2 more tablespoons. So this is going to be pretty close. It's pretty good here. Close enough. Sour cream. And then we just stir that. And it's already boiling, so you got to watch it. So you see that? All right, now I'm going to add my 3 cups of powdered sugar. Put this over here. Shake it off a little bit. That's 1. And shake it off a little bit. That's 2. And 1 more. That's 3. So powdered sugar, it can be a little messy, but hey, That's the fun of cooking, right? Okay, and then vanilla and nuts. My vanilla. ¿Dónde está my vanilla? Okay, where did I put my vanilla? Oh, there it is. The cameraman right there. I feel like, let's just talk. So there's vanilla. A teaspoon, so I'm gonna add a little bit more because I don't think that was quite a teaspoon. All right, there's my vanilla. So I'm going to just turn this down to low. Actually, I'm going to whisk it now. Oh my goodness. There we go. So you see how the powdered sugar is a little clumpy? So you do need a whisk, but you don't need to use a mixer. There. Oh, look at that. That's beautiful. Oh, that is lovely. I wish you could smell it. Okay. I'm gonna grab my spatula, and I'm going to add my nuts. Well, I didn't measure that one. About a cup. That's about a cup. I love nuts. Oh well, there you go. It's about a cup. All right, that's it. That's it for the frosting. Look at that, it looks amazing. Okay, you guys are gonna take another break. I'm gonna pull the cake out and just put this warm frosting on it. So come back. All right, guys, welcome back. I took the cake out, and you notice this is not really like a sheet pan. It's a cookie sheet, which is a larger than average cookie sheet. But I know that they have sheet pans, but I think it'll still work. All right, excuse me. So I'm going to grab. So you want your frosting warm. If you don't like your cake warm and the frosting warm, and let it soak, if you don't like it like that, you can have a cooled cake, then put it on and you have a little bit thicker frosting. So I'm going to go ahead and put everything warm. I love that. I love everything incorporating into it. So we're going to just put all of it on here. So make sure you use a spatula. I love these spatulas that are heat resistant to like about 400 degrees is what they say on the package. I've never used it on a 400 degree heat, but I'm just going to trust what they say. Or I'm gonna go get my $5 back. I'm just kidding. All right, so we have that. So we're just gonna spread it all over the place. So it's a really thin, it's not a real thick frosting. It's a really thin frosting. So I guess I could have made this a little bit more warm, so it'll be thinner. So again, so I'm gonna spread it like this way, and then spread it that way, try to make it as even as possible. So I think that's good. It doesn't have to go right at the edge. Because, okay, so that's it. That's it. Isn't that beautiful? So excited to try it. All right, let's put a piece onto, it's gonna be a little gooey, onto the show plate. Oh, maybe that's not the best piece, but, oh, I forgot, I have a parchment paper in here, but that one slid a little bit. Okay, that is a little sloppy. Ooh, that's good. I'm gonna put this one right there. I'm gonna do another piece. See if I can get a prettier piece for that, for the picture. Now that I think about it, I wonder if you shouldn't use a parchment paper because this will really come out fine. I'll put this here. And then, let's put some ice cream on it. You don't have to serve it with ice cream. It's good with milk. A great glass of milk will do just as well. Okay. Now let's drizzle it in. Hershey, the good old Hershey chocolate. Or you can have a fudge. There we go. That looks so good, you guys. So we have that. So I'm going to have myself a dessert also. Right there. A little bit of ice cream. Or you can probably use whipped cream too. Okay, come on. I love warm things. I love warm cake, ice cream. I love warm apple pie and ice cream, warm cherry pie, warm everything, warm bread pudding. I know, it's so funny, but this is gonna be so good. I love this. Chad is gonna love this. This is like a cross between a cake and a brownie. Okay, I have that dinner. I always do this. Eat dessert before dinner, so I'm eating more. But you guys, see how easy it was? It's no wonder it's been around since, as far as I know, 1981, but I wouldn't be surprised if back in the 50s. Okay. Texas cheesecake. Go look it up. I wonder if it started in Texas. I don't know. Thank you, Texans. So until next time, happy cooking.